Now we are coming to the limits in Europe, in the United States, and the US economy never was designed to be shut down like the Chinese economy. And President Trump, he mentioned this. He said US economy is not suitable to shutting down. It must continue so that healthcare can also be somehow served. And that is very much like what was put forward by British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in the initial stages of COVID-19 in the UK, the herd immunity. Now that economies are coming to their limits to deal with supporting their healthcare systems, say in Spain and Italy or France, or the US has already been there, the economies are opening up for normal functioning. And that trade-off, the healthcare, keeping, sustaining lives, supporting households, and keeping the economy going, the trade-off between the two, the economy and the healthcare, has been at the heart of, at the central debates around how to deal with the spread of COVID-19. So this is teaching us limitations of the economies and limitations of individual states, how they respond to spread of COVID-19. These and the nation states becoming more important in that. Now, moving away from this, let me focus on one more issue. The one more issue is relating to a conjuncture we live in, and in this conjuncture, what we have inherited from the past and the past model is spread of poverty, the unequal distribution of income, migration, rise of nationalism and racism, in particularly in Western Europe, under the pressure from migration, the desertification, global warming, environmental degradation, water pollution. Well, all these unsustainable areas, accompanied with terrorism and security issues, they all became part of our lives in the past system, and it was a kind of chaotic system we lived in, with migration and security and terrorism and all that. So now the conjuncture that we face, those challenges from the previous economic model, that is that we inherited all these problems. Now they coincided, rather coronavirus, COVID-19 coincided with the breaking point of that. Now, for the future, in order to deal with these problems, probably a debate, a mindset, a new narrative to address those shortcomings and those failures that is coming from the past has become very much on the agenda of the debate. That a more sustainable, more equitable, more just system, dealing with poverty around the globe, dealing with environmental degradation, desertification, whereby people lost their livelihood in agricultural sector, pushing people to migrate, poverty, and all of those debates, all of these issues that are brought forward in the prevalent debate as we were going through all the other problems that we were facing. Now COVID-19 came as a result of COVID-19 coincided with this debate. Now, as soon as measures are introduced, and those are restrictive measures, some of them are relating to wash your hands, keep your social distance, kind of restrictive measures. But keeping people at their homes and keeping their, locking down. That also brought together with it a new type of practices, work practice, a new type of work practice, as we are doing as of now, that we are meeting in a conference from all around the world around this digital environment. The new type of work ethic, new type of work practice has become the mode of the day. And this online work systems, the digital working, the conducting conferences this way, and also using digital technologies to direct our day-to-day businesses has become part of our lives. So this is that digitalization, technological development, and introduction of new techniques, new technologies, the robotics, the artificial intelligence, the dark factories, and big data, using big data. These are all becoming now, those are all becoming part of our lives with Industry 4.0, that kind of transformation. Now, with COVID-19 coinciding with the problems, with debate on solutions, and that conjuncture in which we are introduced, which these were already available to our day-to-day use, but now they are being used more and more widely, and not leaving us, after COVID-19, these practices will be very much part of our day-to-day routines. So all of this is providing us with some kind of future planning, the future, the life, how it's going to be planned and how it's going to be organized. The other thing is, are we going to witness a change after this? Now, there are two questions I come across with. One of them is the world order going to change? Is the hierarchy of the nation states going to change after COVID-19? Are we going to, is that poverty, dealing with unsustainable, unequitable world, are we going to be successful in introducing solutions to these problems? Now, let me start with the second one. The second one is, it seems like COVID-19 is bringing around some promises, some hope for the future, that more equitable and more just system is, economic model is sustainable, which can be introduced. But there will be certain forces at play who would be inclining to continue business as usual. And those who want to continue business as usual, those are the winners of the past system, the past economic model. Winners of this, particularly finance capital, starting from the US and other parts of the world. They probably want to continue business as usual by using these new instruments, new gadgets that are coming in, being part of our daily life with technology and all that. They want to continue their business as usual, and there are people who will debate, who will argue, who will develop narratives that a more just and more equitable system requires more fundamental changes to the world order, starting with international institutions, the IMF, the World Bank, the United Nations system, and so on and so forth. The same goes with the EU, the European Union. It seems like the test put forward by the COVID-19 and other challenges, the previous challenges that I have mentioned, that they put European Union, for instance, to a severe test, and international institutions to severe test, together with all the international institutions, the United Nations and WHO and WTO, what have you. And their response, the EU's response to COVID-19, the international institutions' response to the pandemic, and problems surrounding pandemic has been rather weak, and it has been rather inefficient, unjust. They are caught not knowing what to do. Okay, governments maybe they're also caught in the same situation, but that is putting forward a area in which it opens up an area in which the jury will be out until something is settled as far as institutional structuring in international order is concerned. As far as the future of the EU is concerned, we'll be debating a lot about this. Now, let me say a few things about Turkey. Turkey has also responded according to its own national capacity. We, in Turkey, caught up with the coronavirus quite late. It came almost in the middle of March. As soon as coronavirus appeared in our neighbors, and in Iran and in the neighborhood, Turkey sealed up its borders, starting with Iran, and stopped trading, and put forward some new arrangements with the Iranian border trade. Some new arrangements were immediately implemented, but then also this public awareness, it was targeted at increasing public awareness for social distancing, physical distancing, the hygiene, and all the other issues, the wearing of masks and things. These were put in place. And on 11th of March, once the spread of virus took place and it began to take its toll, on 11th of March, the government passed a package in order to keep the economy alive, to keep the economy going, but that was targeted from the supply side. So the corporations and the sectors affected by the virus badly, those were favored, and some they were favored, and some measures were taken to keep them alive and to keep them to help them survive the economic downturn coming with the virus. So those are including postponing of credit payments, reducing taxes, and postponing payments of taxes, expanding credit markets, bringing down VAT on certain issues, but also providing households with payments, 1,000 Turkish lira to start with, to 4.3 million poor households. So that was that package was put forward as soon as the fights started taking place in the healthcare system, and just after that, and then the announcements were made that there will be additional packages. As of today, we had two packages, the second package, and in between those two packages, and since then, there has been some other additional measures to keep employment intact. In other words, protecting those employed or those who are laid out. Those people are instructed to register for short-term employment money, and now that package altogether since then amounted to $15 billion. I said as of today because today the economic committee is meeting to pass another motion. Now, like in many other countries, the way in which economic arrangements are done in Turkey was very much related to the duration of the spread of pandemic. Now, that for the few subsequent days, the spread of pandemic, the tested cases started to decline, and people who are released from hospitals, they cured patients. Now their numbers are doubled, and that rate started to fall in subsequent days. Therefore, some measures or some calculations are made to see that the duration of this COVID-19, this is going to be with us until the end of May. So in between, government bringing about some of the measures to lock down people, some curfew measures, like we have so far done three of those, and the other one is coming next week, locking down people for 4 days. That was the longest, on 2 weekends for 2 days curfew, and the coming next curfew will be 3 days curfew. So, and all of these, they produce some results, which makes the new arrangements for the economy. It eases up the room for the new arrangements in the economic sphere. Of course, you probably have heard, in the meantime, Turkey started providing the world with some medical equipment, masks, the protective gear, and some ventilation machines. And today, 55 tons of medical equipment arrived in the United States. And UK, Spain, Italy, 55 different countries receive Turkish aid from this medical supplies. And that was made possible by shifting the production line towards producing this kind of equipment. I thank everyone for joining in. This has been a great experience, and I wish you all that you keep safe, keep your distance. Now wash your hands, put up your masks, and stay safe. I hope we'll see each other face to face at one point.
Thank you so much, Professor Aybar. It was such an honor for us to host you in our first webinar. I would like to also thank our EURAS member representatives, as well as we have also universities or organizations from Turkey. Let me also announce the countries, because we have 17 countries right now with us, not only from Turkey, but from Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Spain, Italy, Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Iraq, Pakistan, UK, Bulgaria, France, Dominican Republic, Somalia, and Lithuania. And I would like to thank each and every one of our participants. Maybe in the future we will be hosting again together with our other speakers, maybe in a panel option this time. For our Muslim friends and colleagues, I would like to also wish a happy Ramadan and joyful one, hopefully. And stay safety and healthy, and I hope to see you all in Turkey or in another city or country.
Thank you. Goodbye.